Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another spiritual awakening with Oladele and Kehinde Dosunmu. Last week's broadcast was about being your authentic self, acknowledging your spirituality through being authentic to whom your creator wants you to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, we mentioned about the fact that it's a bit difficult for you to be your true self when we're trying to fit into religions, because we use religions as identity. Sadly, religion is not your identity. Your spirituality is in you, inbuilt in you. And yeah, if you want to know more about that, check out the last video we did. But for today, we're going to be talking about when did you become fully spiritually awakened? When did you become fully spiritually awakened? That's a difficult one because, like we said in the past, a lot of us tend to think that our spirituality is linked to our religion. And a lot of people will say to us that Christianity or Islam is not religion, it's a way of life. I understand that, but there's a difference. Your spirituality is basically not defined. It's something that you were born with. It's something that lives within you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Christianity basically tells you to seek an alternative to get to God. Islam does the same. But your authentic spirituality is basically the God in you.
Yeah.
And the moment you embrace that, it gives you a new life. It gives you a new meaning, a new understanding to see how things are. Okay, like I said, the question is, when did you become fully spiritually awakened? So I'm asking Kehinde that question. So when did you become fully spiritually awakened? Because a lot of people cannot, we basically had a little chat about this, and that's why we're bringing it out to anybody talking about it today. Okay, Kehinde.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember I told you that 3 years ago, that was when I truly, fully actually embraced who I really am, which is the spiritual, my higher self. And I was explaining to him that, okay, maybe when I was actually young, I experienced some things that kind of give me an idea that, oh, was that spiritual awakening, or was it something that happened to me that maybe led me to believe that, okay, maybe it started when I was young? Because like I said, I question, maybe some of us question everything, question our religion, question our culture, even question the system, everything that surrounds us. And because, like I told him, that my energy, my vibes, my intuition, my things that I actually believe that I experience, I tie that to, it could be a spiritual awakening. But maybe because I was young, I didn't understand that, and there wasn't anyone to go to explain, to tell them, okay, this is what I was experiencing. So it's always there. I always question everything. I was never happy with so many things around me. So, like I told you, I then came to myself 3 years ago. I embraced who I truly am. Like, totally. I said to myself, okay, this is it.
So how do you embrace yourself today? How do you know that there's something different about you?
Like I said, I know that since when I was young.
Okay.
And the reason why I didn't embrace that was because the people around me didn't have that type of
Awareness.
So I used to say I was weird. I used to say, like I said in my last video, I used to pray that, can you just please take this type of what's it called, character or biological trait, you can call it anything, so that I will fit into the way everybody thinks, and everybody seems to actually welcome.
But you're describing how you felt, because like we said, everybody has that kind of spirituality in them, because it was, like we said, it was inbuilt in us.
Yes.
But was that truly the awakening, or it was just something that was just there?
Oh, you mean when I was
what you're kind of describing now? Because
it was
like you said, it's always there.
It's always there, and because sometimes we don't embrace that, we cannot let it maybe dormant. It stays dormant because of whatever, because we are born into a particular system, culture, like we said, tradition, religion as well. So many of us don't even think that we have that I don't know, that identity that is really truly our authentic self, or unique self rather. So it
So
stayed
okay, let me
dormant.
ask you. So what would you do? How would you describe spiritual awakening then?
Spiritual awakening is your higher self, is your true identity, who you truly are. And the way, like I said, I experienced this was actually maybe through hearing from, you can call it God, or you can call it your higher self, you can call it intuition, you can call it explaining to me, because I think with me, I was asking so much question. I wasn't happy with whatever is around me. So when I asked the question, I think couple of years, remember when we're still in church, I told you about it. I think we will mention it in our last, or maybe I don't know which one, our video.
Yeah.
And I remember actually going to God and ask that, please Lord, just reveal who am I, because I'm struggling with all these things around me. Who am I? I said, would I even ever embrace or even know who I really am? I said, what's the purpose of existing there? And I remember God revealing to me that you already know who you are.
So my question to you then, on that note, the God that you're asking question, is it a Christian God? Is it the inner self? Because Christians would think that, okay, you ask God a question, God answered back to you. But is it through Jesus? Is it how
No, I just
Okay.
went straight to my inner self. Like I said, I shut out the outside voice or noise or whatever. Then I look inward. When you truly, I think maybe when you want to find or you want to know something, if you truly, and God knows genuinely, I think maybe when you reach a point that you're just fed up. They say sometimes when you reach the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah.
I think maybe that was why I was. God could feel my pain. Should I call it pain? Because it was my pain, because I was struggling with everything, every fiber, every bit of myself was tired. I said, will I actually ever embrace who I truly am? And that was when God revealed to me and told me that you already know who you are. It's already there, but you never embrace it, because I always push it aside. That can never be me, because so many people don't have this.
So why did you not embrace it?
Because I was scared, number one, and because it wasn't something that was common. Because anything that wasn't common, people would not embrace it, because I wasn't fitting in to everybody else's way of thinking, way of living. The whole thing was like I said to you, that I thought I was an alien. I thought I was actually dropped from, I don't know, somewhere else. Alien. Alien. What does alien mean? You feel that, okay, you don't belong here.
Different, yeah.
So maybe that was when I didn't embrace those thoughts and feelings and how I truly am. So, but because I think maybe the older you get, because you don't have any choice. I didn't have any choice now. I have to just say, okay, Lord, I surrender, because I was saying to myself,
We're using the word Lord.
yeah, because if we were former, well, previously we were former,
Okay.
a Christian, so a believer. You know what I mean? The creator, my creator, the creator of the universe.
Because we need to be distinct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the creator of the universe. Like we said, we can call it God. Some people call it Lord. Some people call it
Nature.
Nature. Some people call it creator of the universe. You can call it anything but we're still talking about Olodumare. But we're still talking about the same thing. Your inner self, your true self, the creator who lives in you. Because that's why we're called. Some people would describe us as a little God. Some people say, "Oh yeah, I'm a little God."
I don't even believe in the little God.
Or where maybe to make other people understand what they're talking about. They call it
fair enough.
or we're God on earth.
Yeah, we're basically we're God on earth. Yeah, I agree with that. But this little God, a big God. That's basically, it discriminates, and then it basically takes you away, because then you're trying to pigeon yourself in particular different holes.
Yeah,
and it gets confusing that way.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts anyway.
Yeah. Well, in a Christian setting, they okay.
But like I said, we're not Christians.
We're not Christian anymore. Okay. But at the same time, the Christian people are still watching. Yeah, they're still watching, so that they understand where we're coming from. So when you then embrace your true, authentic self, maybe it might not be common to others. That is when you come to your awakening. So you're not worried about or you're not fitting in, or you're not being common. I shouldn't use the word common, but you're not,
We don't conform to what everybody else is
conform to
doing.
what
Because the
everybody
world
else
we
is
live in is basically
conforming
full of
Yes,
conformists.
yes,
Everybody
yes.
wants to fit in
So
because they don't
you
want to
have-
feel left out.
Yes. So you don't feel left out because you know who you truly are, and what that is the most wonderful feeling ever. To know you can even be among so many people that maybe one or two people will actually have the same, what's it called, ideology, or the same way of thinking like you do. So you don't feel left out. So you feel comfortable in your skin, in yourself, because you know who you truly are. So I believe that is actually the word spiritual awakening. You come to realize, embrace who you truly are, which is your
You
higher
know what?
self.
My perspective, when you become fully spiritually awakened, you have to look inwards all the time. Everything you do, your spirit has to guide you.
Yes.
Your thought process, anything you do, it has to be guided by your spirit. Your spirit basically tells you what to do. When you come to that kind of consciousness, then I personally feel like when you get into that kind of space, you don't go wrong.
No.
Because you embrace who you are. And this is basically the challenge that a lot of us face in the world today, embracing who we truly are. If it doesn't fit into the paradigms and the constructs and everything that's been created
It's not
in the
popular.
world today,
Yes.
people don't feel that they belong. But for you to embrace your actual spirituality, your authentic spirituality, basically you need to be yourself. And being yourself in the world today, the world we live in today, is one of the challenges, the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna look, people are gonna look at you oddly. They're gonna think you're stupid. You're gonna be strange. You're mad. You're strange. But don't forget, we're not in this world to be copycats of other people.
Yes.
What we're all doing at the moment is copying everybody else. We're basically trying to compete against one another based on the conformity that's been created for us to outshine each other, which is basically not how we're supposed to live this world. So for me personally, I got a spiritual awakened. I'll say probably it's been a while. It's been a while. I've been there for a while because I left church. Obviously I was the most radical one in terms of getting out because I just feel something just not right. So it was quick for me to get out of it than for Kehinde to get out of it.
Yeah.
So like I said in the past, probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, I wouldn't even refer to the Bible anymore because the Bible had no meaning to me.
Yeah.
Even though I know that some of the bits in the Bible make sense. And the reason why it makes sense because a lot of it was taken from particular African scriptures and basically was put in there. So it's basically plagiarized to be in there. So a lot of it made sense. But for me, it felt like, why should I read a book that tells me how to live my life and to do things when there's so much lies in the same book that's been used to basically indoctrinate a lot of us? It just did not make sense.
Yeah.
And the questions were, why would a God be so bad that he would punish so many people? He allows death, he allows all these things to happen, all these atrocities to happen to people. Yet you call yourself a just God, a God of love. Those are the questions that I had. So when I looked at the Bible and I see that this doesn't make no sense, I started to question things, and the more I questioned, the more answers I got. And the journey we're in right now is basically through that.
Yes, that was
It basically through that journey of discovering, of knowing, of basically listening to push us to where we need to get to. So I'll say, my journey was basically, I'll say Kehinde's about 3 years, mine probably a bit longer than that. A bit longer than that.
Yeah. Yes,
but obviously, I would tell my wife some main things and she was still not getting it. So I get frustrated because I'm thinking, but she was there, and sometimes we agree on things, but sometimes she was still Kehinde was holding back.
Yeah, I was holding back. I think it was the fear, and that's where the problem lies. Religion will keep you bondage. It will put so much fear in you that I think then it becomes a body, a cage you've been caged, you've been bound. So even though sometimes when you say something, I can understand what you're saying, then the fear grips me that it's like, when we talk about Christ, did Jesus Christ, that did Jesus Christ really exist? when you say, oh no, it's something that was made up, then I would say, no, that the only way to get to God, we were told as Christian, is through Jesus. You have to pray to Jesus to get to God. So when you say Jesus Christ doesn't exist, how do you then pray to God? Because Jesus is the middleman, he's the mediator. And the only way they say we can get, there's a verse in the Bible that says that you cannot get to the Father except through me. That the only way you can be saved, the only way you can get to the Father.
I struggle with that.
And so I
struggle with that. So big time. I'm thinking the only way. How can I get to the only way is through Christ?
Through Christ, yeah.
Despite the fact that there's millions and millions of people who are not Christians.
Yes.
So will the same God cast those people aside, or is He waiting for them to become Christians before He can accept them?
Yes.
Make it make sense.
So that statement alone actually kind of yeah, I said no, I can't. No, I said that one I won't take. I could take other stuff, from the Bible that wasn't true. But you telling me Christ did not exist. So how do I pray? Who do I pray? Who do I pray to? How would God answer my prayer? Not knowing that I have this direct access to God. I don't need anyone. If I can shut, like I said earlier on, my the outside noise, and I could hear the Creator speak to me directly. So you're telling me, and that was when we left church, by the way. So I could actually hear Him actually reveal things to me.
Yeah.
Answer my question whenever I ask questions. The answer is always, it's as if it just comes, as soon as I answer the question, the answer just comes. So if the Creator could actually answer my questions, all my worries and whatever I'm going through, He could actually answer that, or maybe through dreams. Sometimes, with a voice, what's that way of audible voice? Is that kind of voice that you hear without even knowing that? Oh, there is who's that? So if God could answer that, so why do I then need a mediator? Why do I need Christ?
So basically what you're trying to say there is that you basically got answers without going through a Jesus.
Without saying the word Jesus, without saying, oh, Jesus, this is what I'm going to, because they said you have to go through Jesus or the Holy Spirit. That's another word that so many of us, like we said last time, we're confused. When we hear the word Holy Spirit, everybody have to say the word Holy Spirit before God can answer. But I'm saying the word Holy Spirit and the word God, aren't we talking about the same thing? But because we name it differently. So that was when I started saying, okay, actually, and when I was even young, there's so many things, even without me knowing, that I'll ask God, as young as I was then, that God would actually answer me. But I didn't put two and two together. I thought it was through Christ.
Because probably the reason why you couldn't put it together is because you're still trying to go through Christ.
Through Christ. And this is what we were told, that it has to be through Christ. So I explained my awakening came 3 years ago when I truly embraced
fully. And I'm going to concur with Kehinde as well, because basically, like I said, I was ahead, but in a way, when she got there and I was still getting, at least let's just say we got there together, fully.
Yeah.
And then what the beauty of the spiritual awakening is basically when you think things or you have some thoughts in your head, and your partner basically seconds what you're saying thinking of what you're saying, and he says it out and you're thinking it, it becomes basically scarily beautiful, man.
And that means God is working in.
So that means, so that has, because we used to be former Christians, but when we tell people that we are spiritually awakened, people they can't comprehend the fact that you can be spiritually awakened away from Christianity or Islam.
Yeah.
People don't realize, don't understand that you have God in you,
which is who you
truly are. And that's basically, and once you can embrace that fully, you become fully spiritually awakened.
Absolutely.
That's how basically that's what spiritually awakening really means. And basically then you can look inwards to find answers without looking to any contractor or any medium.
And I think that's where the joy begins, the happiness. So that no matter what you're going through, doesn't mean because you're spiritually, I'm spiritually awakening, that everything will come together.
You're gonna have struggles.
You're gonna have trials, you're gonna have tribulation. You're gonna have so many things that would that would challenge you, but
Because
doesn't mean
yeah,
that you're not spiritually awake. You still have it, but in the midst of that, you're at peace with yourself.
okay, I was gonna say exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're thinking the same thing.
You're
So
at peace.
basically, when you get there, I was actually gonna say, as you took the words out of my mouth. Basically, when you're on that journey, it doesn't matter what kind of struggle you go through. It's kind of scary, but you feel at peace.
Yeah, at peace.
And
so
what
good.
you have to keep doing is just keep listening and then take action. Listen, take action. Just
yes.
listen and take action. The more you do that, you can never go wrong.
No, no.
People will never understand you. They think you're mental. You think you're there's something wrong with you.
No.
But the key, I kind of just said it, is the word peace.
Yeah.
In your heart, in your mind, you'll be at peace.
Those judgment, you judging others, it's not even going to be there anymore.
No.
Because the Bible, the Bible says love one another. You automatically love someone because you embrace who you are. So you're not judging someone else.
No.
So you love them for who they are.
For who they are.
Because we're all created by the same God we're talking about. So we're individual, separate.
We're all individually unique.
But
then we have to create communities amongst ourselves, and we live together. And basically, at the end of the day, don't judge people because they're not looking at you, or they don't, because Christians will judge you if you're saying something completely different. They're thinking, you're not going to get to heaven or whatever, and that
I think that creates division as well.
That creates division.
That creates division.
The fact that you can actually judge people based on the fact that they don't understand, or they're not ascribe to what you ascribe to.
Yeah. So
that creates division, and our Creator does not create division.
No. The moment you create that division, what do you expect? You want people to then listen to you.
Yeah. So it has to be this way or that or the highway.
Yeah. So.
And what we're saying is a spiritual awakening. The moment you get to that stage, mate, you become you're at peace with whatever you do. It's a lot. It's something that, like I said, we've been on in Jersey for a while. The last 3 to 4 years, probably, when we actually keyed into it.
Yeah.
And then this is basically guided our steps in terms of what we're doing now, where we're going. Because most people will not understand what we're doing. The logic behind what we're doing, most people will not embrace it. But as long as myself and my wife we understand and we're on the same
page and on the right path, we know we're in the right on the right path anyway.
Yeah.
Because of what we're experiencing, what God is actually, the Creator is revealing to us.
Yes.
Because we listen now.
More.
Isn't it? We
more
listen
than
to
ever.
our higher self now.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't rely on anybody. You can't rely on pastor, can you? Or anyone.
No.
Oh, let me go and talk. No, we don't. We listen. You look inward.
Yeah, and as long as we keep listening to each other and listen to a higher calling, and whatever we do is being affirmed by each other to each other.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I think we're gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.
You guys take care and remain blessed.